quick information about me. So my name is David Okeode. I'm the EMEA CTO of Azure at Palo Alto Networks, which some of you may know. I'm a big Microsoft customer. So I've written 2 books on Azure security. I'm always in the Azure security community and all that stuff. You can check out my blog on davidokeode.medium.com. And I'll let Leila introduce herself.
Hello, yes, my name's Leila Porter. I am a Microsoft MVP for developer technologies. I'm a GitHub star, and I am a developer advocate for .NET at VMware, and I'm the founder of the Women of .NET initiative. I'm not a super expert on DevSecOps, so I'm going to be voicing the dumb questions. So I shall try and be the voice of, oh, I don't know if I feel I can ask that. I will ask those, okay? So you can telepathically tell me the questions you want to be asked.
So we thought that I will probably do this. We'll do a brief introduction of just the topic that we are going over, and then we'll just be available to take any questions that you have. So for those that are joining us online also, thanks very much for joining. So you can also use the chat window to ask questions. And again, if we're able to answer the questions, we'll be happy to answer them. So just some quick information around this. I really like the image in the lower left corner. So credits to Pete Cheslock for that. That's sort of like where things are, right? So you have like DevOps moving at this amazing pace, by delivering software at an amazing pace, but security really struggling to catch up. Right? That's the reality. And I was reading some stats earlier about you look at the rate at which code development is growing, and at the same rate you see vulnerabilities growing at almost the same rate. So that means we're writing more code, but we're also creating more risks for organization. So about 83% of applications have at least one security flaw in it, and that's from recent studies from GitHub. So over 90% of repositories use open source dependencies, which means you're not just worrying about your own code, you're worrying about other people's code that you're using. How much do you trust them? But apart from that, what about the dependencies of those codes, right? So I think there's something like about 93% of like NPM packages that people are using actually has other dependencies. So you have like these transitive dependencies, dependencies of dependencies that you have to worry about. So DevSecOps about providing frictionless security for the modern software supply chain. So I like that definition very much, right? So this is not just about, I like the session that happened earlier. This is not just about taking existing security tools and then trying to retrofit it into development processes. This is about taking tools that are developed from a security perspective, but are developed for the developer partner in organizations. So it's about security must preserve developer productivity. So we must ensure that productivity is kept. We're able to develop at a rapid pace, while at the same time reducing the risk that we're introducing. And it's also about empowering developers beyond the ability to accelerate builds and deployment. I was seeing some stats from Google the other day. So you see like continuous build, continuous integration. Majority of organizations are good with that. You see like 80% adoption. When it comes to continuous security, you see like about 30% adoption. So that means we're not really doing well when it comes to continuous security or security in our DevOps practices. So one of the things that I'm sure some of you may have questions on will be around GitHub Advanced Security. So GitHub is one of Microsoft developer platforms alongside Azure DevOps. In GitHub Advanced Security, you have these tools that are built from a developer's perspective, right? So these are not retrofitted tools. These are tools that work with the developer flow, works with the developer process, and you can consume the security capabilities.
So another question here. Many enterprises use, for an example, JFrog, SonarQube for static code analysis and scanning. Could you high-level compare those tools to the newly released GitHub features? Should the companies use it all together, but by different stakeholders, devs and security, for an example, or they can be superseded?
Yeah, that's quite a lot of questions there. So we want me to compare Sonar Cloud or Sonar Cube with Microsoft GitHub Advanced Security. So I probably won't give you like a competitive analysis right here. What I would say is you have to look at what you're assessing, right? So sometimes I see when people are looking at tooling, you have to look at what you're assessing. Are you assessing application code? Are you assessing dependencies? Are you assessing infrastructure code? like AMP templates. If you're assessing application code, what languages are you using in your organization, right? If you're assessing dependencies, what dependencies are you using? Because then you have to look at something like GitHub Advanced Security. What does it support? What about SonarQube? What does it support? If you're using Go, does GitHub Advanced Security support Go? Does SonarQube support Go? What are you looking for? Are you looking just for just coding issues, right? Maybe code smell issues, code quality issues. Are you looking for application dependency vulnerabilities? Are you looking for compliance issue, maybe regarding to open source licensing? So what you find is that when you do this analysis, you find that some tools cover some aspects, and then you'll be able to realize the gaps that you have, right? So another example, malware, right? Are you going to be doing malware assessment? So you have to look at all of these different components: application code, application dependency, infrastructure code, configuration code, right? And all the different aspects of security that you want to assess for and compliance that you want to assess for. And then you use that to sort of like compare the tool set. And then what you may find in many cases is you have to use a combination of tools together. But the thing about it is that it's not really about the tools, because security, for it to work the way that we're talking about, it should be frictionless, right? It should get to a place where it does not feel as if you're doing security. It just feels as if you're just doing normal coding, right? So there should be less emphasis on the tools versus like the actual capabilities, and in terms of how they help you to make things much more easy and smooth.